just sent out in July states that the SD files were not released because there's information from the victims intertwined.
Right. So you can. Okay, I understand.
Operation accomplished. Your valor is beyond question.
Information when it comes to victims. That's something.
Mission coordinates locked. Mission preparation aborted. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized. Mission coordinates locked. Hellpods prime. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized.
Why is that so hard to understand? The FBI does that all the time.
Launch initiated.
Okay, first of all, so obviously these guys are very stupid, but that's okay, I'll be nice and you can stay on the line. Where have I said, and where has any Democrat said, that they want to put the ground on what I've just said? Listen, you're not listening to the MAGA wax out of what I'm trying to tell you, and you don't seem to understand or grasp understanding of what I'm saying.
Go now, Helldiver. Let our enemies take no step that is not hindered by the corpse of their comrade.
Information that could release any identifying of the victims, they can redact that information. That is what the Democrats are actually saying, sir. And what you're doing is you're making excuses for somebody like the orange orangutan rapist. Clearly, I can tell by your stupidity, you voted for. Redact names. For example, in child sex rape cases in the courtroom, they don't release specific names, and the media doesn't release names to protect the victim. To release information on what the perpetrator or the person who committed the whole act did without giving out personal information or showing images publicly. Why is it that you're not smart enough to understand that, sir? Can you please help me understand?
Idiot.
You're an idiot. You're calling me an idiot. Okay, that's fine. Why am I an idiot? What did I say that was... What did I say that's factually inaccurate?
Found something.
They're going to find out either if you know the internet, they're going to find that
you know the internet. You know the... So I'm the idiot, and you're claiming that all the names in the Epstein files and all the victims would be out, quote, on the internet if Pam Bondi decided to redact. Why don't you listen and stop interrupting? If Pam Bondi decided to take the names out and the Attorney General and others in the administration or any administration redact the names, I'm wondering, how would it get out on some
tagging map?
There would still be places, people,
What places? How would they get it? If all the information when it comes to victims was redacted, okay? I don't even know if you know what that word means.
There would be no information.
Okay, first of all, why are you yelling? Are you a lunatic? Why don't you calm down?
You're saying all the information.
Okay, sir, get your Trump pantyhose out of the bind you're in and calm down, okay? Get the MAGA wax out of your ears. I need you to relax. Take a Trump blue pill so you can pleasure yourself with a toaster at night before you go to sleep, and relax. Get the anger out of your white anger out of your body, and pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? The files could be released without giving out the names of the victims or any pornographic material. But I do find it interesting that you don't call into the show. You seem to care so much about the victims' names being released, which, by the way, they wouldn't. But you don't seem to have any concern of the fact that the orange orangutan that you voted for, clearly, because you're an ignoramus, that the guy who went into teenage locker rooms bragging sexually about looking at teenage girls naked, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, who was on the Epstein flight log 6 times. You don't want to talk about any of that stuff, but I'm the idiot because you're claiming that if they release the files without giving out any names or pertinent information on the victim, that somehow it would, quote, get out on the internet. Sir, you're an idiot. You're the idiot. Everybody listening to this conversation knows who the real idiot is. You know what?
Found
You're a pedophile. Have you ever abused a child, sir? Do you wear a Klan hat? Yes, exactly. I think you're a pedophile. That's what I think. You're a pedophile. You're a clown. probably wear your clan outfit before you go to sleep. I'm sorry, Z. This is what I have to deal with every day. Okay, Grand Wizard, have a nice day. We will get out on the internet, so that's why we can't release the files. Meanwhile, this is the same imbecile.
There are child rape cases all the time, and they don't get jobs.
Right.
Like, I don't. Yeah, that's
Obviously, that's someone who's not very intelligent, but we get that from our special magazine supporters who call into the show every day.
Step into a market of fresh financial options curated and human, like Bright Credit Card offers with sweet perks, loan options.
And then we go back into 90 deals in 90 days, which we knew that was a lie. Here's Donald Trump making the case, White House lawn today, the EU, that a deal apparently is a letter that is sent out. Again, he's making the case that because a letter was sent out, that somehow is a deal.
No, we are talking to the EU, and we're making progress. But look, we already have a deal with the EU. It's called the letter that was sent out. I think it was 30%. That's the EU. But we, at the same time, we are talking to them.
Absolutely ridiculous. Apparently it's a deal if you write a letter. That's the art of the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you write a letter to a company, it's a deal. Regardless of whether many of these world leaders are probably ripping up the letter and laughing at Donald Trump and his administration, quite likely laughing at this country, according to Donald Trump, it's a deal if we send a letter out. That's how incompetent and stupid Donald Trump and so many members of his administration are. 90 deals in 90 days. All we have to do is write a letter.
There's something here.
So stupid, it's unbelievable. And this comes at a time where the Trump administration is literally celebrating higher prices and billions collected from working Americans from Trump's huge new national sales tax. Bill put out a tweet today literally bragging about this. When it's the American consumer that is paying for it, and the June numbers have come out. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Inflation is not down. Inflation is up. That's right. The inflation rate, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, rose to 2.7% on the annual basis, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, if you would like the source. This is an increase from 2.4% that was observed in May. The monthly increase is 0.3%, which is the largest monthly increase in 5 months. Core inflation, includes food and energy prices, rose 2.9% year over year. We have been told by many who are not political that this is a short example of what we have to come, which would be called a recession. This is just the beginning. So when Donald Trump says gas prices are down, and food prices are down, and inflation is down, that is a blatant lie. And he's going to continue to lie. And as the numbers continue to grow and rise, he will blame Barack Obama and Joe Biden for that as well, I'm sure. Or entered into another war with Iran. The Ukraine war is worse off now than it was on day one. We are headed towards a recession. People are going to lose their medical coverage and Medicaid. Maybe upwards of 15 to 20 million people. People are losing their jobs. They're suffering in this country. Many people are going to lose their food stamps. And while all this is going on, a typical MAGA Republican buffoon like Donald Trump is talking about Joe Biden and transgenders.
If you're here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Delaware, and you've got an old, cracked, or stained garage floor like this one, we can transform your garage floor in just one day. It's an industrial strength.
You've done your duty.
Never going
You
to
may
be the same
extract
crack
with honor.
Right now, we have a summer special going on, so we're taking $500 off any concrete coating project. If you're interested and want the details on this limited time offer, just click below. You'll land on a quick page that asks
You may
just
proceed
one or
to extraction when
Republican
ready.
buffoon like Donald Trump is talking about Joe Biden and transgenders.
I think they have been freewheeling photo
Biden was never for open borders. Biden was never for transgender for everyone. So I don't think he. I think the radical left people that took over the White House, and if I didn't win, our country was finished.
Yeah, there you go. Our country was finished. It was dead a year ago. Look at how wonderful we're doing now. It would have been finished if I didn't win. And Donald Trump talking about transgenders in front of the NATO Secretary General. What an embarrassment. Yeah, because that's number one in everybody's list, right? God forbid a transgender athlete beating out a woman's volleyball team, because that's far more important than people not able to put food on the table, living paycheck to paycheck, while you give the biggest tax break to the top 1% in American history, and you got us into another ill-advised war with Iran. The war in Ukraine is still going on. There's certainly no peace in the Middle East.
There's something here.
But let's talk about those transgenders. This is what these MAGA idiots do every day. They want to ban books, they want to attack the LGBTQ community, they want to attack trans people, and they think drag queens are bad and undocumented immigrants are the reasons why there's so much crime in this country, which couldn't be further from the truth. Oh yeah, by the way, more unidentified ICE agents kidnapping people over the weekend throughout the country. More ICE agents that aren't identifying themselves outside of courtrooms arresting people and separating people from their families, while J.D. Vance is running around with his family having a good old time. By the way, did you see that video of J.D. Vance dancing? Have you ever seen anybody or not dancing, I should say running. I don't know if it's a dance slash run.
Tagging map.
Have you ever seen a man run like J.D. Vance runs? Oh my goodness gracious. Can you imagine watching J.D. Vance and Donald Trump run in like a 50-yard dash?
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
And then lastly, we were told 90 deals in 90 days. Right? I'm not making this up. Peter Navarro, members of Donald Trump's administration, even Donald Trump said he would make 200 deals. So what happened to that? At maximum, we've had 2 deals made. Those
Mission
weren't
at
good
30
deals.
minutes remaining.
But now Donald Trump is claiming because we sent a sophomoric letter to a world leader, we sent a bunch of letters, that somehow that's a deal, and it doesn't matter what's in the letter, so long as he sends the letter, that's the deal that was made. I'm not making this up, folks. Donald Trump reiterated that again this morning in front of the NATO Secretary General, that somehow sending a letter out is a deal.
You praised European countries today as standing up for Ukraine as being strong. Will you allow them to continue to negotiate tariffs lower than 30% before August 1st, or is the deal set at this point?
What does that mean? You mean you're talking about the tariffs? Oh, you're back on tariffs. You're on a more friendly tariff, right? A little bit more friendly tariff. No, we're going to be talking to people. We have, I watched the show this morning. They were talking about, well, when's he going to make the deals? The deals are already made. The letters are the deals. The deals are made. There are no deals to make. They would like to do a different kind of a deal, and we're always open to talk. We are open to talk, including to Europe. In fact, they're coming over. They'd like to talk.
But wait a second. Let me get this right. It's a deal if you send a letter. So is that how it works in business? I guess that's the art of the deal. If the other party rips up the letter and laughs at it, which I would imagine a lot of these world leaders are going to be doing, that somehow that there's a deal that was made. And they want to say this guy is the art of the deal maker, 90 deals in 90 days. But apparently now it's moved from 90 deals in 90 days to 2 deals in 90 days, arguably 2 deals in 90 days. And somehow if I write a letter to somebody, that must mean that a deal was made. You know how ridiculous that is? And we were told 90 deals in 90 days. Well, it's been 90 deals, 90 days, I should say. Maximum, maybe 2 deals, if that. So the Trump administration, once again, is shifting rhetoric on these trade deals. Because we had Caroline Leavitt saying that the phones were ringing off the hook. We had Donald Trump saying that they're all kissing his ass. Do you remember that? That was just several months ago. They said 90 deals in 90 days. Now, I knew that wasn't going to happen. In fact, you could make the argument no deals have been made. Maximum maybe 2 deals. Now they're sending letters out to all these countries, and these world leaders are laughing. This is what Caroline Leavitt had to say just a few months ago about all these deals that were going to be made. And then we hear what Bessent has to say about that today. Have a listen to this spin.
And now the rest of the world is calling our administration. The phones are ringing off the hook because they need the United States of America, not just our economy and our market, but they need us to continue providing peace around this world. And they know that they are indebted to us for the stability that we have provided in their own countries for decades. And the president has made that very clear.
When you talk about these letters and you talk about kind of the 90 deals in 90 days, or at least the president did back in April, so far that we've seen 3, and they're not concrete deals the way that we're used to seeing trade deals. They're frameworks.
Amazon hates this, but there's absolutely nothing they can do to stop it.
There's a classified grade stealth drone taking over the skies, and it's so militarized, the US Product Safety Commission is trying to ban it from being sold to the public. But it's not just the government panicking. Major drone brands are in full meltdown mode. Why? Because this thing, called Ghostwing, is blowing their $3,000 models out of the water, and it only costs $99. The company behind it, they're not playing by the rules. They've already moved over 2.4 million units in just the last 30 days. By cutting out Amazon, Walmart, and every greedy middleman, they're going direct to consumer, slashing the price and making Hollywood-level drone tech available to everyone. And the features? Insane. Ghostwing has been featured on Fox News, NBC, and even CNN for its military-grade precision, 4K ultra-wide camera, and jaw-dropping silent flight system. It's packed with auto-follow AI, meaning you can record yourself in full cinematic motion. No controller needed. Its high-intelligence GPS tracking locks on your position up to 3 miles away, and if the battery runs low...
Trade deals, they're frameworks. The president has a reputation, self-described deal maker. So why haven't we seen the kind of deals?
Managed democracy calls for aid. Only you can answer, Helldivers.
And when we send out the 100 letters to these countries, that will set the curve. So we're going to have 800 done in the next few days. And
that's not a deal, that's a threat.
No, that's the level. That's the deal. If you want to trade with the United States.
Resources for freedom's expansion.
Coordinates locked. Hellpods thrive. Engaging orbital thrusters.
That's part of the deal. 90 deals in 90 days.
Orbit synchronized.
Trump ever promised this? What are you talking about? How many times did you hear members of the administration, including Donald Trump, say 90 deals in 90 days? He said it every single day. And finally realized it's harder than he thought. And he had what? 2 deals that have to be made. It's crazy. It's insane.
And don't let some of these politicians they are dying to make it. Please make it.
Wait. If they're all asked, then why is the Senate saying something different now? Gosh, that is really interesting. That's a threat.
No, that's the level. That's the deal. If you want to trade with the United States, this is.
But that's not a negotiation. That's just a.
Many of these countries never even contacted us.
Wait, what? Many of these never contacted us. A couple months ago,
You are the best of the best. Live up to your name. Live up to freedom.
What's really going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Trump administration. There was never going to be 90 deals in 90 days. The Doge cuts to the NOAA are part of the reason why we had this horrible situation take place in Texas. So many innocent people lost their lives, including kids. The tariffs are blowing up in Donald Trump's faces, and we, the American consumer, are the ones that are suffering because of it.
Found something.
They're focused on alligator Alcatraz and banning books and going after trans people. Meanwhile, the economy is in shambles. We are headed towards a recession. They're giving the biggest tax breaks to the top 1% in the history of this country. About 16 to 17 million people are going to lose their Medicaid. A lot of people are going to lose their food stamps. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. They go after some of the most vulnerable people in this country. But let's be fair here. This isn't just MAGA Republicans. These are Republicans in general. Because in the history of this country, Republicans are the ones that vote against government programs that can help people. Welfare, maternity leave, food stamps. They vote against basically every single government program that can help people in this country that are suffering while catering to the rich. This isn't just Donald Trump. This isn't just MAGA Republicans. For the most part, these are Republicans in general. You have one party that wants to help people that are struggling. You have one party that wants to help those that are living paycheck to paycheck, help those that are unemployed, whether it be unemployment benefits or welfare or food stamps or health care. And some of you voted for the guy that wants to take your health care away. And if the excuse is, well, you know what? People need to get to work. It's not a legitimate excuse. Why? I'll tell you why. look up the stats, and 30% of people in this country that are working are not offered health care benefits. And if you are offered health care benefits, about half of you can't afford it. I think the number was somewhere around 49%. So you can't use that excuse people are lazy. They do the same thing with welfare, food stamps, and everything else. It's their excuse for not wanting to help people that are suffering while giving the biggest tax breaks to CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. This is the Republican Party. They don't care about people that are struggling. They certainly don't care about minorities that are trying to come into this country seeking asylum. But if you're 100% white from South Africa, come on in. You have ICE agents throughout the country that are not identifying themselves, that are deporting people without any due process. They're doing it in synagogues, they're doing it in churches, they're doing it in front of a Home Depot, they're doing it everywhere. They don't care. Because to them, that's what makes America great again. No, to me, that's not what makes America great. What makes America great is that we accept everyone.
Hello, my name is Alexander Yermak. Until 2022, I was a musician, and now I'm...
Ronnie, there might be a possibility that maybe Donald Trump might be in those files. What do you think about that, sir?
We don't know anything because
you don't know exactly. You don't know. So why is it a bad thing to release the files then? So maybe we all would know, Ronnie. Let's go to Ronnie. Ronnie is next up on PTL. Hello, Ronnie.
Brian and your partner there. That guy, you called to go. You sounded just like you. Answer the question. Answer the question. That was great. You sounded just like you, Brian. Answer the question.
I mean, I don't know what the question was that he was trying to ask. He asked me what the name of my producer was, which is totally academic to the topics that we are talking about today.
Ron, did you believe in Trump-Derangement syndrome?
Why do you say that?
I was wondering if... I was
Okay.
wondering if that was, you think it's a real thing? Does it affect MAGA? And they're just saying it affects other people, but they're really the deranged ones? Or do you believe that Democrats are the deranged ones?
Nobody needs to be deranged. No one needs to be deranged. I just think that the people that listen to and follow Trump have a better idea and better thoughts on their head as a better country.
Okay, so how are we a better country than Donald Trump? Let's talk about that.
Name one thing.
What has he done to make us a better country, sir?
Hey, Ryan, what are you going to use 2016 possible stuff?
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
you're going to answer like what he
Found something! Say hello to democracy!
You're obviously okay, so let me finish.
Bag's empty!
Name me something you think Donald Trump has done.
Get some! Get some!
That's what we're talking about. Go ahead, Ron.
I'm going to answer it as long as you don't interrupt.
There are no, my show is not, Ronnie, I'm going to repeat something that I've said on this show before. This is my show and not yours. If I want to hang up on you, I will do so. Nobody forces you to come to the show. So stop with your, prearranged, don't do this to me. Don't be a snowflake and answer the question.
Well, if you make an intelligent argument...
What has Donald Trump done in the first 5 months that you think is good for the country? Maybe you think. You think, Ron.
I like the tariff that he put on the other countries.
What tariff did he put on the other countries? What tariffs are you referring to?
Well, all the tariffs that he's charging other people using their tariffs.
Okay, so Ronnie, when you say you like the tariffs and implement with other countries, you have to be specific. There are a lot of countries out there. Name me a country and name me the tariff that you, because if you say you like the tariff, surely you can name the percentage of the country, right? So name one.
It's more like the fact that I like the theory that
No. Ronnie,
Objective near your position.
For prosperity!
like the tariff imposed on the country. In order for us to have a conversation, we have
taste of freedom! Bag's empty!
I'd like to dump it in there. I'd like under
Bag's empty!
our airport, our bridge, millions of Americans less their diesel. See how that works, buddy? I can't help it. Specific. Instead, you like the tariff. I like the tariff. When you say you like something, be specific on what you like, okay? Well, before fail on the tariff, what you like that Donald Trump has done in the first 5 months that you be specific about, then we can have a conversation about it. Why don't you feel
injury? What injury?
I also like the fact that after that we have not gone out to the
Hold on.
Hive structure destroyed.
Last reload!
Well, I can't see anything good happening out of it. I just got
hold on. So knowing that there might be people out there that will less children, you don't think you're find out who you are, you won't have to consult. That's not a good thing.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining.
there.
I think really, Ronnie, let's help you out.
So let me tell you what happened. Freeeeeeedom said that you don't wear it. Great job.
But Leonard, there's people who are never worried. Let's go back here. I hear what you're smack. Yeah, you don't smack some tariff. He doesn't even know what a tariff is when you get very interested. Let's go back to that. This is interesting. Lonnie just said he thinks of all the things that he thinks Donald Trump did well.
Get some! Get some!
Is that what you're saying, Ron?
I didn't say that.
Firing orbital barrage. Clear the area.
I think that there's certain things like the police work, and that should not be let out to the public.
Police work, hold on. Police work is not let out to the public. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Helldiver, you are moving outside the mission area.
However, that's only when you're doing the investigation. When the investigation's done, then it's public information, and that's everybody.
Hey, Ron,
just
this is like you for years. Hey, Ron, listen, get the MAGA wax out of your ears and listen, okay? Mr. Epstein Jr., why don't you pay attention, okay? So, for years, the Trump administration, that means you need to shut up, otherwise I'm going to pod you down again, okay? Okay? For years, the Epstein files were talked about with people like you. It's going to be Bill Clinton, it's going to be Democrats. But then all of a sudden we learned that Donald Trump was one of the best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He was on the flight log several times. And Epstein was on Donald Trump's private jet. Do you think, Lonnie, there might be a possibility that maybe Donald Trump might be a little silent? What do you think about that, sir?
We don't know, Epstein.
You don't know exactly. You don't know. So why is it a bad thing to believe the silence? So maybe we all would know, Bonnie. Don't you think it's a good thing to expose the people who are molesting children? Why do you think? Okay, give me one legitimate reason why they don't want to release this list. Why? Give me a reason. Go ahead, Ronnie. Give me a legitimate reason.
Keep liberty.
You don't know who's on that list either.
Give me a legitimate reason.
Permanent hive structure destroyed.
Good. They're really good.
investigation is over. Wrong. Investigation is over. Wrong. Let's try for the second try. Yeah, give me another reason. The investigation is over, so you're wrong about that. Give me a legitimate reason why. Give me a legitimate reason, in your opinion, which you won't be able to come up with, why they won't release the files. I'll give you another shot at it, pal.
Okay, so how about if I give you a different topic?
No, you're staying on the same topic.
Bug outpost spotted. Prepare to exterminate.
It's a good thing. Brought it up. It's a good thing that's not the FDR.
Outpost cleared.
Why you can't get out of the file?
No one trying to rearm.
That.
I don't know.
You don't know because you're an idiot. Thank you.
Johnny. Yes, I think that I think. How do you think they convicted Maxwell with no information? Why don't you explain to me how that happened?
He doesn't even know who Maxwell is.
I'm sorry. Okay, maybe.
This guy knows who Maxwell is. You know how pure it is.
But they had to have.
Go ahead, buddy. What else are you going to say? You sound like a really smart guy. Go ahead.
I know how terrorists work.
Objective near your position.
Pay for it. Who gets taxed? Who gets taxed? Who gets taxed on terrorists? Huh?
The other country.
Oh. I've had it with brothers. I've had it with American. You know how terrorists work. You don't know the backbone. You are in
Mag's empty.
typical Donald Trump supporter. Not the brains. Really, you're not educated.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
That was
I've heard the comments of the majority of people being sent to El Salvador.
Nothing in the chamber.
Right, the vast majority are being sent to their home court.
Does that still make it right? But does that still make it right? Does that still make it right, though, that there are people that are being sent to El Salvador or that doesn't make it right, though. Just because it's not the majority.
I think it's dependent on what they charge. They're not sure.
Freedom marches on. Thanks to you. You may proceed to extraction.
No, there were no charges filed in the United States of America. You never convicted of a crime. Let me ask you a question.
Whether you're convicted of a crime.
He wasn't charged with trafficking in the United States. So I want to ask you this, though. So let me ask you.
Here illegally.
Okay, so if you're here illegally, you're okay to come to the United States.
We'll find out, I guess.
No, I'm asking you a moral.
Get some! Get some!
Yes, it does, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it does, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it does.
Freedom forever!
Like a violent criminal, from security prison in another country.
Deploying equipment package.
Their origins, where they are
A little shot of liberty.
where they are in cells, where they have one meal a day, where they are outside of their prison for 30 minutes a day. It's like somebody that is on death row. And Lauren, you need to tell me that you are okay with someone who doesn't have the right paperwork, that might be in this country illegally, not having the right due process, never committed a violent crime in their life, and being treated worse than someone in this country that's on death row.
Extraction is available.
That you're okay with that?
I'm telling you that if it's in the policy of...
I'm not asking you about policy.
I'm not answering your question, Brian. Well, I'm going to answer.
You're not answering it. I didn't ask you
I
about
am
policy.
answering it. Barack Obama did the same exact thing.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Tell me. You're telling me. Hold on.
Found something.
Lauren, I need you to focus. Lauren, you're not listening. Stop. Hey, guess what? I shall not.
Have a
to democracy!
I didn't say deportation because morons who don't listen to my words, or in fact, you're one of them. You're not listening. I didn't say deportation. You confronted Barack Obama deportation. I wasn't complaining about deportation. You're not listening. Your problem is you don't listen. I'm specifically talking about the specific deportations of non-violent criminals with no due process that are being sent to the highest maximum security prison in the world. You are wrong. Barack Obama did not do that. It's one thing to deport somebody to their home country. It's another thing to arrest somebody that's been in this country for decades that has no violent criminal record and send them to an El Salvador prison where they don't see the light of day and they could be there for the rest of their life. Lauren, why do you think you cannot differentiate the difference? Go ahead. Lauren? Okay, he hung up the phone like Howard Deputy. Lauren, you're hung up the phone because you're
There's something here.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I did not hang up the phone before.
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
What morons try to do, what many of these MAGA morons try to do when they don't have facts to back up their opinion, they try to compare Barack Obama and the deportation of Donald Trump. Barack Obama did not deport people without due process, sending them to an El Salvador prison or some of the highest maximum security prisons in the world. Barack Obama never did that. That was the point I was trying to make to Lauren. You notice how Lauren wouldn't answer the question? When I put them and pin them in a corner, and I say, are you okay with nonviolent criminals being treated like animals, sent to some of the highest maximum security prisons in the world? They want to bring up Barack Obama because they can't defend the indefensible. Lauren has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, and then when I call him out on it, he's back. Typical MAGA buffoon.
Yep.
So why did you vote?
That's called democracy!
So why did you vote for the guy who still has
Mission at 20 minutes remaining.
hasn't provided any evidence? There's so much about evidence. Well, why did you vote for that guy? David, that's someone. Tell me, David, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for the class. In regard to the Jeffrey Epstein problem, I agree that I'm pretty evident that Trump is likely part of it. He wants to keep it. You know, he doesn't want to talk about it. He's one of them hypocrites that think they want to release it now. Now they're not doing it. And my question to you and your fellow letter that if during the election season last year, why do you think a lot of Democrats weren't pushing to get the Epstein files released? They
Keep liberty.
Yeah.
I'll tag it down.
So, David, first of all,
exactly.
I've been okay, but you voted for Donald Trump.
Get some! Get some!
Where's your credibility on this? I would vote for those ones, and I would vote for anybody that's on that list. I'm sure there are Democrats that are on that list as well. But that doesn't excuse the fact that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He's one of the best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He was on the flight log 7 times, and that's the guy who you voted for, David. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but my point is that I haven't seen any direct evidence that is on Epstein.
Then why are you not releasing it? Why is he not releasing it? Why are they not releasing it?
Well, as I've already explained, because he's likely on the manager.
Okay, thank you. So we agree. Why did you vote for him then if you knew that he was most likely on this list of the best friends of Jeffrey Epstein? Why would you vote for someone that you think most likely is a child prodigy?
Well, because I haven't seen any significant direct.
Then why would you say most likely? Then why did you say most likely just now?
Because he most likely is, again, as everybody else saying that's a difference.
Terminate outpost destroyed. Eagle 1, leaving combat zone to resupply.
Okay.
Firing gas strike.
You're feeling it out. Everyone, I think, because you give me an example.
Most likely in the Epstein file. You decided to vote for somebody who is most likely, your own words, a child predator.
Because you have to show me the evidence.
You just said that.
He admitted that women stared at 15-year-old girls in the Miss America.
Okay, so David, were you asking that of Donald Trump every single day to this day when he says he won the 2020 election? Were you saying you have to show me the evidence, sir?
Yeah, I was. I did. Yes.
So why did you vote? So why did you vote for the guy who still has?
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Provided evidence. It hasn't provided any evidence. You care so much about evidence. Why did you vote for that guy?
Because the policies that he was going to implement.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Well, his policy on the border, many of his economic policies. I agree with that more.
What economic policies? Giving the biggest tax break to the top 1%, big beautiful bill. You think that's
what border policy? Sending out ICE in regular clothes with masks to take moms, children, and husbands and grandfathers and deport them to any country they want, not even the country of origin. So you're okay with his border policy?
I'm okay with. Let me clarify. When I say I'm okay with the policy, I'm not saying I'm okay with 100% of every aspect of that policy. I mean, you'd have to break it down scenario by scenario to tell you whether or not I agree with it or not. I agree with
Get some! Get some!
To do with the economy. So far, he hasn't done that.
Firing gas strike.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with something. It's okay to build this.
Sending down equipment package.
Now, specific regions, or it's okay to just give them the move now?
They can clear illegal ones. I'm sorry. Are you saying legal immigrants or illegal?
No, I'm talking about legal immigrants, millions of them. Build this country into jobs that I will talk about myself. I'm not going to speak for you and do jobs that I would do. So milking cows, waking up at 5 a.m. to pick strawberries in this country.
I agree, but this is the bigger issue, David. You care about the rule of law. So you don't want people to break the law in the United States of America, yet you have no problem voting for a 34-count amendment. Doesn't that make you a hypocrite?
For prosperity!
Because that was political confusion. It was political confusion. They overcharged him, and it was a kangaroo court. I know exactly what you're going to say, David, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a 34-count.
You may proceed to extraction when
You're going
ready.
to ask me a question.
No, because I've never been up before.
I'll ask you a question. Do you think Americans
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
What does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm asking to find out what kind of where your mentality. They said ask a question. That's my question. Do you believe that Americans are completely white and everybody else needs to go?
Okay, so David, I'm glad to hear that. Are you okay with ICE agents deporting people, some who are non-violent criminals, and sending them to an El Salvador prison, to places of that nature when they have never been convicted of a violent crime in their life just because they're undocumented? Are you comfortable with that, sir?
So, just to be clear, your question specifically is I'm okay with ICE bringing people to El Salvadorian prisons.
Libya and South Sudan and Rwanda? Is that okay?
My specific question, sir, you're a non-violent criminal, and you happen to be undocumented. Are you okay with sending those people to some ICE prison process? Are you okay with that?
No.
That's exactly. You just said you liked his immigration policy. That's exactly what Donald Trump
did. And I told you, I said I like some of it and don't like other parts of it. You're conveniently not mentioning that.
What part do you like?
Sure. Well, if you don't mind, you're or any other you wouldn't agree.
Very clear.
No, she would have just told us the border was secure with 20 million people.
Not true. Not true. In fact,
she wouldn't violate people's rights.
Not true. In fact, Kamala Harris was the forefront of putting a bipartisan bill together that you're born.
Extraction shuttle inbound.
Yeah. I just told you I completely disagree.
So tell me how Kamala Harris was great part of
Deploying equipment package. ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Say hello to democracy!
I'll tell you that I just proved a lot of it. And I
maybe something else.
Maybe something else. You didn't want to hear it.
What is the things that you like about
ETA T-minus 1 minute.
One thing you like.
Firing gas strike.
Like, yeah, that's the one thing. You asked me to name one thing. That's one of the things that I like about it. The Remain in Mexico policy. I mean, the amount of illegals that have come into this country now are what they were during the last 4 years. I mean, is that not now that it's down to zero? Now it's and they should go to their try to get the legal ones in proper recourse, or they should just get kicked out. But Trump's policy is just kick them out. You're saying to kick the legal out? There are people that have a court case who are here
T-minus 20 seconds.
canceling their court hearing while they're in the front lobby, and then resting. Agree with that? That's his policy. That's fact.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds.
I'll say it again. There's a lot. That's something I disagree with. You don't think this is
Pelican 1 arriving at coordinates.
Did you?
David, you don't think this is
Pelican 1 landing in progress.
like South Africa.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent. Victory was never in doubt.
He's not doing it for people from the southern border because tens of millions of them came to speak.
So why is it that there were 10 people that happen to be white in South Africa?
Well, to my understanding, in South Africa, they were being persecuted by their government.
Why were they white? Why no brown people?
That's why the people from Venezuela. Well, it's not the people from the same mindset.
Okay, now
I can only take a certain. I don't really do what I'm literally answering the question in good faith. You're asking, I'm telling you my opinion on it. Look, I'm not saying I know all the facts. I'm just telling you my opinion with respectfully, Brian. You're perfectly, you can disagree. That's fine. But my point is again, millions of people came. Millions of people came into the country illegally from the southern border. So no, they shouldn't be granted any sort of amnesty or anything. That's absurd.
They're granted court dates. They're trying to be citizens. That's what. All right. So you think illegals are just a problem in this country? Something else you think Donald Trump has done in the first 5 or 6 months that you think is really good for the country?
Sure. I like the fact that what he's trying to do with some of the.
Welcome aboard, Helldiver.
Congratulations. Okay, so name me something that he's done. That's fun.
Well, I just did. I said he's trying to push these trying. I disagree with him. I'm trying to think that he's like chicken down on the terrorists. I mean, they have a couple of deals. One with the UK, and essentially it's the same deal we've always had. And then he bragged about Vietnam, saying he got a deal with them and got them to trade for free, which was always that's the Biden.
David on the phone, who is a Donald Trump supporter, I asked him to name some things that Trump's done that's good, and he says, well, he's trying to do this. I didn't ask you to name things that he's trying to do. Do you think, since you care about the economy, things take time, sure, okay. So since you care about the economy and you claim to, do you think giving the biggest tax breaks to the top 1%, which is in the big and beautiful bill in the history of this country, is good for the economy?
No.
It's not. Okay, so that's kind of a big part of his big and beautiful bill. Do you think when 10 to 15 million Americans lose their Medicaid, do you think that's good for the economy? Taking $10 billion away from food stamps?
How about children?
Yeah, you think that's
children not having meals in school anymore because they cut the SNAP program by $300 billion.
Are any of those things good, David, for the economy?
$300 billion.
Since you care so much about the economy and human beings, are you okay with 15 million people losing their health care coverage?
No, I'm okay.
You're not okay with that? Okay.
Well, let me explain. First of all, I don't see all